Hallo, ek is E.T. Welkom by my kanaal waar ons als saam doen. Finally, today I make good on my promise to teach you all I can about Afrikaans plurals. I have created 6 plural videos thus far, this being the first one. And as I release these videos, I'll save them in my Afrikaans plurals playlist on my channel. So you'll find this one there today, and then every week there'll be another one. And for now, we'll go up to 6 videos. But then if you have questions or I remember something that's important, I might make more. Afrikaans plurals are considered to be extremely complex. Besides all of the many rules we have for forming plurals, we also have an exception to pretty much every rule. And it took me a while to decide how I can present the Afrikaans plural information to you in the easiest format possible for foreign language learners to not struggle so much to learn the plurals. So at the end of the day, I created my own groupings by which to teach you the Afrikaans plurals. These groupings and the subsequent rules, visual rules that I created, does not exist in an Afrikaans textbook. We are not taught the Afrikaans plurals in the way that I am going to teach it to you. The rules are still the same. The rules about how to form a plural, that remains the same, but the visual cues that I've given, like the thumbnail of this video, and you'll see throughout this video, I created a rule that looks like a math equation. We don't learn that math equation in relation to the plural rule that I'm going to teach in this video. We do learn the rule, but not the visual. But I thought it might be easier for myself. It's easier if I have something to visualize in relation to a particular rule that I have to learn, even if it's a language rule and not maths. So I decided that's the way I'm going to go. So just remember that when we learn Afrikaans plurals as an Afrikaans speaking person or even as a second language person, often we are taught the plurals by way of the accent, where the accent is in the word. So they'll tell you, right, so this is how you make the plural if the accent is on the first vowel. Or this is how you should do it if the accent of that word is on the last vowel in the word. That becomes really hard if you are a second, third, fourth language learner, or even if you are a foreign language learner. Because most of the time you don't have access to the spoken language, not enough to be able to discern where the accent is in every word. And even if you try to look for it, often you'll find that depending on where you are in the country, people pronounce the words differently, even the accents. And so then it becomes a real struggle. And so that is why I've made them and grouped them the way I have. Please remember that the videos in this plural series build on each other. So I am going to teach you what I consider to be one of the easiest Afrikaans plural formation rules in this video. And then it gets incrementally more difficult in the follow-up videos. The videos contain some overlap. So there are some things that apply to this video and maybe to the next one as well, and so on. So you'll find there's slight overlap, not too much, but there will be overlap in some of the videos. Also, every rule has exceptions, plural, always, not just one, many. So that is why I try to just break it down and condense it into the smallest form of one rule and then all of its exceptions. So it goes all the way up to video number 6. Time to reveal the first Afrikaans plural rule. Rule 1. Times 2 plus e. Now, if you look at the top right of the video, you'll see words ending in F and G. They have their own videos because they have their own plural formation rules. So that's why you won't find them in this video. Also, this visual rule I've given you here doesn't exist in our textbooks. The written rule exists, but not the visual one. This is just a guide for you to learn it more easily. Now, the rule itself says, words that end in one of these vowels that I've given there, followed by one of the consonants that I've given there, adhere to the rule I've given above if and as long as the emphasis is on the last vowel. Now, you cannot escape the emphasis situation in Afrikaans, but I've tried to make it as easy as possible. So the one thing to remember, if a word only has one vowel, it's like a short one vowel word, like fell or bell, then the emphasis is always on that vowel and it adheres to this rule. But if you have a word that has more than one vowel, then you have to ascertain in some way, is the emphasis on the last vowel. Times 2 plus e. And here I give you a whole equation because this is the way my mind works. This is the way I learned things. I hope it works for you as well. So we look at the Afrikaans word rok. Rok is the Afrikaans word for dress. Now, to form the meervoud van rok, which is the plural of dress, you do the following. The ending consonant times 2 plus e. That means k times 2 plus e. So then you get at the end rokke. So you see now you have a double K and then an E. And that is how the plural is formed for all of the words, except the exceptions that adhere to this rule. Examples of times 2 plus E. Rop, robbe, lop, lobbe, plan, planne, mop, moppe, bak, bakke, plek, plekke, klok, klokke, blik, blikke, and then ongeluk, ongelukke. Now, the emphasis in this word is not on the last vowel or the last syllable, but is in fact on on, which is the first vowel or first syllable of this word. But the base word, geluk, means luck or good luck, and geluk has its emphasis on the last syllable. And ongeluk means an accident, but it can also mean bad luck. So ongeluk, even if it has its emphasis on on, it still adheres to the same plural formation rule as the base word geluk. Some more examples of times 2 plus e. Bal, balle, kol, kolle, pil, pille, kar, karre, lem, lemme, kam, kamme, drom, dromme, frat, fratte, kat, katte. And even more examples of times 2 plus e. Os, osse, as, asse, vis, visse, lip, lippe, jas, jasse, klas, klasse, bos, bosse, kos, kosse, mes, messe. Exceptions! Right, so let's look at the first of many exceptions in the plural journey. Sometimes, most often, plurals have no rhyme or reason. On occasion, it makes sense as to why the plurals are different or the way they are, the exceptions. Other times, it's just like, why? And it makes no sense. There is no explanation. Right, so let's look. Las is the word for join, where two things are joined, but also for burden, like you carry a burden. So in the singular form, las is spelt and said, pronounced the same. So they had to make a decision onto how to discern and say they discern between the two in the plural form. So you have las for a join, and then lasse for joins, and then las for burden, and laste for burdens. So this is something you just have to learn. Then we have on the right, we also have the same situation where we have the singular form, gas, means gas, but also it means a guest, like a person, a guest in your house. So they discerned in the plural form. Then we have gas, gasse, which is the plural for gas, as in greenhouse gases, gas and gases, gas, gasse. Then for guest, it is gas in the singular, and for guests, it is gaste. So that one you should also learn. And then at the bottom, we have some other things that just adhere to a different rule for absolutely no reason. Gas, gaste. Pes, peste. Bos, boste. And you'll see there, in this case, we also have this pos is like the post, a job position. Because you get another pos in Afrikaans, which is male. But this is not the one I'm referring to here. Because male doesn't have a plural. It's not singular letters. So we talk about pos. It's just what we call a versamelnaam. So it doesn't have a singular and plural form. But this one refers to a job position. So it's a post that you have or a position that you have. Pos, poste. Yay! More exceptions. Alright, so let's start at the middle, top middle. Album, albums. And that is simply spelled that way because we took it from English, borrowed and then adopted from English. On the left, we have lid, lede, ooglid, ooglede, skip, skepe. And then gat, gate. Now, that gat given here is the hole in the ground or the hole in a wall, and the plural for that one is gate. But in Afrikaans, we also use the word gat to refer to somebody's behind or buttocks, and the plural for that is gatte, like the times 2 plus air rule. I haven't given the example yet, but so we'll say julle gatte gaan brand. And that is something a very angry teacher would shout to children and chase them around with a wooden spoon way back in the day, which means your butts are going to burn. Julle gatte gaan brand. And then down at the bottom, we have what we call wisselforme. That is an alternate form or alternate forms. And we have quite a few of those words in Afrikaans. It just means that there is a singular form. Ooh, it's getting late. Singular form. In this case, it's man. And it has 2 plurals. 2 plural forms, both are used. And they're not used interchangeably in this case. In this case, the plurals are used in different ways in Afrikaans. So we have man, then manne, but we also have mans. And they are used in slightly different contexts, which I will not go into here. But if you want me to make a video on wisselforme and the different ways in which those wisselforme are used, then let me know in the comment section. And then we look at blad, and that can either be a page or your scapular region. And the plural for blad is blaaie, and they both have the same plural. And then we have pad, paaie, and then then we arrive to words that have the emphasis on the first vowel or on the first syllable. In this case, kinkel, kinkels. And then we have wapen, wapens. Except for ongeluk, which does not adhere to this one. This is an actual rule. When the emphasis in a word that ends in one vowel followed by one consonant is on the first syllable of the word, then it gets an S, like this one. So I will touch on this rule in a different video, and then I'll elaborate much more. For now, these are just examples. Right, so just more examples of the rule I've just spoken about. When these words end in one vowel followed by one consonant, but the emphasis is not on the last syllable or the last vowel, but the emphasis is instead on the first syllable of the word, then it gets an S. in its plural form. And I will again elaborate on this in a separate video. So examples: carbonkel, carbonkels. Vaandel, vaandels. Album, albums. I messed up. I realized that I had this in the previous clip as well, so forgive me. Kuiken, kuikens. Laken, lakens. Teken, tekens. Jachter, jachters. And werker, werkers. Last exceptions for this video. We look at words containing the air sound. So here we have scare, scare. Biljonair, biljonairs. Miljonair, miljonairs. They do not adhere to a specific rule. So I will recommend that you learn these words. These exceptions, learn them by heart. They don't follow one specific rule. We are at the end of the first plural formation video of my plural series. I hope that this video doesn't leave you more confused than you were before, because I feel more confused right now. But I think it will become more clear and make more sense towards the end of this plural series. I apologize in advance for things that I left out or for confusion. It is extremely difficult, was extremely difficult to create these plural explanations because there is so much overlap and so many exceptions that it makes it feel like it's almost impossible to break it down to a small enough explanation or a small enough portion to be able to teach this, especially to foreign learners, in a way that will make sense. Because as an Afrikaans first language speaker, even I am confused by all of this. It is a difficult part of Afrikaans. Afrikaans in general is not a complex language to learn, except for plural formation and the diminutive formation, because that is also a bit of a confusing situation, but I think the plurals are worse and more difficult. The diminutive form is not that far behind, but I think the plurals are worse. And then you have the plurals of the diminutive forms, which, yes. So I hope this video has helped you. And if you have any questions on the content of this specific video, please leave your comments in the comment section. If you want me to explain some of this more, please say that. If there's something that you're like, I don't know if what you said makes sense or it's anything, then please let me know in the comment section and I will help you battle the beast that is the Afrikaans plurals. Until the next video, have an awesome day.